So hi everybody, welcome back. James and I are talking today about COVID and its impact on hotel technology. So the next thing that the guest could potentially touch, and this is an interesting one because I have a lot of people tell me that, you know, there's no need for a telephone in the room anymore because nobody uses them. But I certainly hear from hotels when they're not working. So what are your thoughts on the telephone in the room, James?
Well, there's a few thoughts on that. The telephone in the room is an interesting one. Coming to what you said originally, that people are saying they don't need them, don't want them. I'm in your camp. I think we're some way yet from taking phones out the room. Not every guest is going to pick the phone up. I understand that.
True.
But not every guest is going to order through a voice system, pick a tablet up, order through the TV. So there's kind of several, you need to offer those options to the guest. And one of those options for the guest to communicate with the hotel and have contact, definitely is a phone in the room. So we're some time away from the phone in the room, removing the phone in the room. Now, when it comes to cleaning practices, if we remove the phone from the room, but we replace it with a tablet, I don't see that we've truly achieved anything, because we still have a device that the guest will touch. We still have a device that the guest needs to be cleaned, that the guest probably wants to be able to clean themselves. So I think, you know, saying we'll take away with the phone and replace it with a tablet, that doesn't help anything for a start. And not that I have a problem with tablets. I like tablets as well. I just don't think this scenario is a case for replacing phones with a tablet at all. Also, one interesting point is if you compare a phone to a tablet, a guest will pick up a phone, call through, maybe press the buttons on the keypad, okay, but maybe they're only pressing a number to go through to the operator, the switchboard. They will request what they would like and they'll put the phone back down. On a tablet, they may be picking it up and handling it for some time. They may be moving around with it. They may take it to other parts of the room. So there's actually potential for a tablet to become dirtier in this sense. I'm not saying that's 100% correct, but there is potential when you look at it like that.
Sure.
So
could make its way to the bathroom, you know.
It could indeed. Easily. And then, you know, there's much more exposure. So we need to be really thinking about all the different options. Now, when it comes to that phone, I think it still needs to be there. Certainly in full service hotels where they're wanting bookings from the room for room service, for spa, for facilities, for, you know, then that phone needs to exist. But also the phone needs to be properly integrated into the cleaning practices. I'll say myself, I'm sure the phone does get cleaned on a regular basis. However, I won't name or anything, but I've stayed in a very high-end hotel here in the UK where I got to my room and I wasn't happy with the cleaning that was done in the room. I also noticed that the phone had some marks on it that suggested maybe the last person who used the phone had been eating something while they used it. So I called down and said, can you service my room again, please? Which, of course, they came and did immediately. I didn't say anything about the phone. When I checked the phone was still exactly the same, which suggests to me that it wasn't the first thing in the mind of a housekeeper who is having to service a room that's been requested. Now, if I put myself in their shoes, I understand that. So what we need to make sure is that the cleaning of the phone is very much integrated into the psyche, if you like, of the housekeeping, because it will be constantly handled. And of course, like I say about everything, that packet of alcohol wipes next to the phone. You know, if the guests can open that and wipe down the top of the phone, then they can handle it, wipe down the bit that'll come in the face, wipe down the buttons. And then there. And of course, when we're looking to replacing the phones, as happens every sort of, you know, depending on the refresh cycle, 5-10 years, you'll need to look at phones with flat surfaces, again, without buttons that are pressed, you know, that can be easily wiped, easily cleaned. Obviously, that's not an immediate option. It may be that somebody comes out with retrofit plates that go over phones, maybe disposable single-use plastic covers, something like that. I would think these would have to be quite cleverly designed. With a TV remote, it's easier to just put it inside a bag, whereas with a phone, I feel like it would have to be a fitted, for the handset and for the base itself. But that could be an option where housekeeping, once they sanitize the phone, they place this cover over it that's sort of flexible enough for you to press the buttons, and when you check out, they, again, dispose of it. That could be an option. I don't know of a product like that, but maybe somebody who's watching our videos will come forward and tell us that that does exist, because I'd be interested to know.
Good point. Good point. Really good point. We will pick up our conversation for our listeners and talk more about technology in the post-COVID world.
Excellent. Thanks, Brendon. Great talking.